Alright, welcome back to my channel. Today I kind of wanted to do a video, or tonight, on some rant and raves from the last year of working in the service industry / working in a movie theater. This last year has been up and down. This time last year, California was in full lockdown again. And, I was unemployed. Got through it though. Thanks to our state and being very helpful. And we pretty much stayed unemployed until I believe it was either March or April. End of March, April. When we got back, though, we were still limited capacity. I think we're only sitting less than 50% or less of our theater, which is not a lot. We could only sit every 2 seats, and then every other row we had to keep empty. So there wasn't a lot of hiring going on because of restrictions. And also there was not a lot of people wanting to work because they were getting paid to sit at home. Why not? I was on the side though of I wanted to get back to work. I was bored at home. So I jumped at the chance to get started working again. Since our company said we're going to be open, blah, 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 I jumped on it and yeah. So the first few months, it was not fun. Again, anybody who works the service industry knows enforcing the mask, having to hear the same, stupid people complaints. It was stressful. I live in California, but still a lot of anti-maskers out there, a lot of anti-vaxxers out there. I'm not going to go into too much politics on this channel, but I side on the side of doing the right thing. I'm fully vaccinated, and I'm not against masks, but again, I'm not going to go into too much. But yeah, so it was no fun. So first story I want to complain about, this is maybe a month or less after we opened. We're understaffed. We are working twice as hard for, terrible pay. We had very limited staff, very limited stock. We couldn't order a lot because our company wasn't making the money, so they're like, very limited to what we could order. And this goes into the story. We have these drink containers that we use, and a lot of time customers want to put their popcorn into it to share, or use it so they can get the refill now instead of having to come back, blah, blah, blah. Well, at the time, we had none in stock. We couldn't order any, and it, we didn't even have an option to order it. It wasn't even on the list of ordering things from the Pepsi company that were giving us to them. So we were using these little plastic trays as an alternative. Yeah, they didn't work great. It wasn't the best alternative, but it's the best we could do at the moment. Again, this is about a month after returning from being away for about, I don't know, 6 to 8 months. So we opened up for a short time in like August. So most people, they're okay with it. And some people, didn't like it, but they just, dealt with it, and it wasn't the end of the world. Well, I had this one guy come up, and he ordered a popcorn. I don't remember what size it was. He asked me to give him the drink tray. He wanted to share it with his wife or somebody. I explained to him the situation we were in, and I showed him our alternative, and he wanted nothing to do with it. Being a total Kevin, and he's like, well, I want something different. And, he's asking for a bag, the popcorn bag, blah, blah, blah. And I had explained to him that those bags are inventory. We can't just hand them out. At the time, I didn't have the authority to make that decision. And he was getting more and more pissed off. And he wasn't asking, he was demanding. He was telling me, what are you going to do to make this right? What are you going to do? So, obviously, I was getting a little bit irritated. This guy, wasn't understanding. And he was already pissed, but again, short-staffed. He had to wait in line. And he points over. We have like clear plastic bags with where we hold our popcorn or our hot dog buns in. So, well, give me one of those. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I can hand those out. And he's like, well, I don't care. So I go over there and I look, and there was only one hot dog left in one of the bags. So I just take the hot dog out, put it in the new bag, and give him the empty one. No, thank you. No, nothing. Just walks away. Just like, damn, you better. So I thought that was gonna be the end of it. About 2 weeks later, guy comes up, and I didn't recognize him at first. And he asked me, are you guys still out of your drink holders? And I'm like, yes. And he goes, oh, I see you're still unprepared. And after he said that, I knew exactly who he was. I recognized him. And I'm like, oh, great. And he just walks away. I don't know if we ever lost that customer or what. I don't work mornings anymore, so I don't know what his deal is. We get a lot of seniors, fortunately, and well, fortunately, unfortunately, that go to this theater, and they tend to be the most Karens and Kevins. But also, there are a few seniors that are great, and I have no problem with. Especially some of the seniors that come at night. You know, I'm on a first name basis with. Always say hi to them if I see them, and those are the customers that I like. The second story I want to talk about. Yeah, I'll do this one next. Uh, this isn't a specific person per se. This is just a general. I find that in California, in order to serve alcohol, you have to get like a certification, at least from our company. You have to go for background check, etc., take a test. And I had been begging for at least a year or two to get certified. And always been said, nah, no, not right now. Well, they finally agree to it. And our company has very strict guidelines for serving alcohol. And one of them is you check ID for everybody, no matter if they look 21 or they look 120. And we have cameras that watch us, and supposedly we get audited and they check for that. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm not taking the risk. I spent a year or two trying to get this, and I am not going to risk taking that chance. And of course, again, the seniors, they tend to not like it, you know. But again, I'm not losing my job over you. I'm not losing my ability to sell alcohol. I'm willing to take a few shortcuts. Considerably, you're supposed to have them pull their ID out of their wallet. But if they're obviously of age, well, maybe, let that slide. Another thing we have to do is open the cans the cans have to be open in front of us. Some people have a problem with that. But mostly people are pretty cool. I haven't really had a deal with cutting people off yet. A few times there were a few that were kind of close to it, but haven't got to that point yet. Because we're kind of trained to, if we think they might be under the influence, to talk to them and kind of get a feel about like what their capacity is. If they're high on drugs, there's quite especially when you're working nights, there's a few people, especially now that weed's illegal in California, that you come in, you can smell it, and, you're getting high off of the fumes. So it's always fun. Another little rant, I guess. We had this movie come out recently, I'm probably not saying it right. C.W. Lewis or something. It's he's the author of Twilight, or I don't remember which. It's a Christian movie, and I I have Christian friends. I don't necessarily believe what they believe, but I do have Christian friends, and they're not all bad people. But oh my God, these people are the worst that come to our theater. The first night, the, the first night that we did the show, we had the special showing, and a church bought out the whole two full theaters. So we're talking 200 to 300 people in two theaters, and it was quite crazy. Probably the most busy we've been on a weekend in a long time. And actually, I think we sold out both theaters. And I was working concessions. And just I've kind of taken over leadership role, kind of working back behind the concessions. Well, just in general, they came up about popcorn and blah blah blah, and very demanding, very rude. No please and thank you. No, some did, but majority didn't. We had 4 or 5 concessions working. We had our managers back there. We're doing the best we could. I mean, obviously we had a better staff now, and this is only a month or two ago. So we had better staff. We were seating full capacity by then. So we're getting it through, and they were ordering a lot of food, which our company loves. That's how we make our money. We don't make money off of tickets. I think one lady ordered like 5 large popcorns, which is, like, yippee. But then I'm closing concessions that night, and I'm doing my job, finishing closing. And 2 things happen. The first movie gets out, and it got out about 15 to 30 minutes before the second showing. And it was in our second theater, which is right next to our concession. People are coming out, and they're, mingling, and there are some people in wheelchairs, which is part of the story. I had a lady come out after the movie was done, by the way, and complain because we didn't turn the house lights on when the credits were going, so the people in wheelchairs and seniors could see better to exit the theater, which I understand, but you could have come out 10 minutes ago and asked us to turn on house lights, and we would have done it. Complaining about it after the fact, yeah. And then another 2, when we close, I always have, and this is the same night, by the way, I typically clean up front. I clean the popper. I clean the stuff the customers see. And I was cleaning the popper. It was about, I don't know, 15 minutes into cleaning. We always save a couple of bags of popcorn for refills, and I try and keep the soda machines on as long as I can humanly possible. But I had literally just shut down the last machine, took the nozzles off, started cleaning it, and the guy comes up, he's like, "Oh, can I get a refill on my soda?" And I said, "I'm sorry, sir. I just literally shut this machine down for the night. I can do a refill on your popcorn, but I can't do it on the soda." And he just gives me this, turns away, walks away, pissed off. I think people think that we should be open until the very last movie, which isn't fair, because that would mean we'd have to be there till 3 o'clock in the morning. The concession closes 20 minutes after the last movie starts. So, and that's pretty late. Sometimes we don't get out of there on weekends till 1:30 in the morning. So he's pissed, but he went away. The same night too, we got this like industrial vacuum that we used to get all the popcorn crud from the bottom of the popper. It works great. It saves us about 10-15 minutes of getting the seat up and stuff. Instead of doing it the manual way, you just suck it up with the vacuum. It works great. I love using it. I turned it on and started doing my job. There were people out in the lobby chit-chatting after this Christian movie is done. And fair mind, this is 5-10 minutes at the most this takes. I turn it off and I get it done and I turn it off and I set aside and I'm continuing on. I have somebody, I had my back turned to the counter and I hear this lady. I turn around and this was your Karen of all Karens. And she had a haircut, she had the look. And I'm like, okay, hi, can I help you? And she goes, "You know how rude it was to turn that vacuum and have that vacuum on? We're out here trying to have a conversation and we can't hear each other over your vacuum." Really? Now, I mean, of course I didn't say this, but I'm thinking in my head, like, lady, it's like 11 o'clock in the evening, and they were sitting in the lobby talking for 30 minutes to an hour after the movie had ended. So you expect me to wait an hour for you guys to leave? No. The popper, it takes the longest to clean, and I always want to get it done first. If I wait an hour, that means I'm going to have to, the whole schedule is going to be off, and I'm going to have to be there later, and I want to go home. So I said, "I'm sorry, I'm done using it, don't worry about it." And she just, walks away, pissed off like every Karen out there. It's all about when I did my theater complaint video. That was back one of the first ones I did. It's all about people need to treat people better, especially in the service industry. If a customer is nice to me, I'm going to be nice to them. We have this old, actually it's funny, we have this old couple that comes in every Sunday. It's always the same. They always get the same thing. And I'm always very friendly to them. If I see him, I say hi. Have a conversation if I can. And the husband, kind of a stern guy, kind of scary. And my GM comes up to me afterwards and she asks me, she's like, "Oh, I've been told that those customers are mean." And I'm like, "Not really. They're kind of a little bit grumpy at first when I first met them, but yeah, I got to know them and I have absolutely the most respect for them, the nicest people." And then also we have this younger couple come in every couple days, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. I always say hi to them when I see them. I always joke with them that I think they're there more than I am, which sometimes is true. But again, treat others like you would want to be treated. If you are stressed out, imagine what we're going through. Because if you're stressed out, we're probably stressed out too. If there's a line going out the door, we're probably going to be stressed out. And getting mad at us is not going to help the situation. Again, there's another story a month or two ago. This guy is being, the I'm in a hurry thing, which always pisses me off. And, we're busy. I get him his popcorn, and he goes, "Oh, this isn't fresh enough. I want the fresh stuff." Made me wait until the fresh stuff came out of the kettle. And I'm like, "Yeah, so much for being in a hurry, dude." I didn't say this, but I was thinking it. And then he complained about the fresh stuff too. I'm like, God, can't win with these people. And unfortunately, our company, and I'm not going to say our company, but they kind of encourage the Karens and Kevins. And it can be frustrating sometimes. But, yeah. Just remember, we've all been through terrible things for the last year. A lot of us have been unemployed. A lot of us are back to work again. The mask thing, my county, which is San Diego County, uh, isn't mandating mask at the moment. Uh, if you're fully vaccinated, if you're not, they recommend that you wear a mask, but most places don't check, at least in our county. I've never once been asked for my vaccine card. The only time I've been asked for it was one time, and that was at work, and it was my choice to give it because I wanted to not have to wear a mask anymore. And the only way you could stop wearing a mask is proof of vaccine. I didn't have to. I could have not showed it and just kept my mask. And a lot of people at work still wear a mask, and I don't have a problem with that. And if I had to go back to wearing a mask again, I don't have a problem with that either. Do I like it? No. I hate wearing a mask. I hate having to communicate people with mask on because it's, it's annoying. But again, I get it, and I know why they do it. And then also, too, I want to say, I've been seeing people saying that, Democrats are making us show vaccine status for everywhere we go. That's BS. Now, I can only condone for my county. I think LA is a little bit different. But in my county, masks are not mandatory. I've gone into grocery stores, I've gone into everywhere not wearing a mask. I've never been asked for a vaccine card. I even went to a San Diego Padres game, and I brought a mask with me just in case. They never asked once for it. I never had to wear my mask the whole time. So that's a bull-faced lie. And again, I live in California, one of the most conservative when it comes to the COVID thing. Obviously not conservative when Republican conservative, but conservative when it comes to the COVID thing. We're one of the top states. I think us in New York are, one of the last states to open fully. And thank God you're not in Canada, because Canada still is on lockdown. But they also take care of their people while they're on lockdown. So So yeah, I think that's going to be it for my rant and raves for now. Just be safe out there. Try and have some empathy for people. Don't be Kevin and Karen. And just do the right thing. Eventually, this is going to be all over. Hopefully, unfortunately, I don't know. That new variant that came out too. I'm done with it too. I'm ready for things to go back to normal as much as everybody else. But I also believe the doctors, and I believe Fauci. Again, I'm not going to go into too much politics, but just don't take it out on employees. If they ask you to wear a mask, Just be respectful. Just do it. Because I guarantee it, they probably hear people like you all day long. And we got fed up with hearing it all day long. But anyways, good night, and I'll see you on the next video.